I am somebody that loves finding bargains, first of all, and also loves creating art out of random things. Something that would be considered garbage or thrown away or just, useless. I love taking those items and doing something with them, whether it's creating a new craft project, putting them in a piece of my art, or creating in my art journal with them. I'm Sherry Burbach, and I am a writer and artist, and I want to share with you some of the things I recently got at both a thrift store and at the rummage sales in my area. First of all, I love hitting up rummage sales and thrift stores and flea markets in general. I think they're all great sources for just unique items, and sometimes those make the best things to include in your art. The ephemera and different types of elements that you can put in really, to me, help personalize an art project. So I love scouring different flea markets and thrift stores for different things. And recently I was able to do some rummaging right here in town and came across a couple things in the free box. Now, this whole thing seems a little overwhelming. This is part of the things I got from the free box in the rummage sales and also at one of the thrift stores. In the rummage sale pile, this was in the free section. When you walk up to a rummage sale and it says, this box is all free, and they just have a bunch of random stuff in there. Here's one of the things that was in there, and this is kind of like a warped thing, but I thought this would be great on an art journal cover. So I'm going to take this off, this piece. I like that it has holes in it. I love that it has a little spinner on it, and use it for a cover for my art journal. Many times I get asked what I use stuff for, so I'm going to share some of that with you today. In this free pile also were just some random game cards. This is from a really old game, and it had all these different words on one side, and it had questions and everything on the other side. Now, what these make for me are great like markers and tabs on your art journal. You can decorate them. They become great tags. They become really nice little, like if you want to include a little note to somebody and you decorate it, you don't leave it like this, obviously, but decorating it, it's really nice cardboard, uniform size. So that's something I'm definitely going to use. And random pieces like this from games. So we've got some letters. We got these weird little balls. All of these can be used for craft projects in different, again, art pieces. I like to keep just a little box of random things, and when I'm looking for some inspiration, I go through it. So that's one of the things I got. Here's another thing I got in the free box. Can you believe this? The game careers. Now this is what really cracks me up. They tried to sell it for $1 and nobody would take it. So they had to give it for free, and of course I picked it up for free. So the box itself, even what I like about it is the graphic elements on the outside. Like I can see this being a cover for an art journal. It's got a game board in it, which always makes for really great books and craft projects. There's a lot of different ways that you can reuse board games to create other things. And I love that one of the things in careers is to go to an art gallery. Like I love this little spot here on the game that says that. So I think when you're looking at things like this, think about the other things you could do for this. Cutting up game boards is not hard. They're already, scored where they fold, and you can cut them with an X-Acto knife, and they work out really great for different projects. This game also had, these wonderful cards. I love the fact that it says opportunity card on one side. And it just says different things on the other side. And again, you could leave one side blank, decorate the other side, use it in your art journals as like a way to stick in a greeting card or a gift, you know, decorate it so it's beautiful and has your art on it. That's one thing you could do. I love little game pieces like this too, with the dice and the game pieces. Now, I don't know specifically what I'm going to do with this yet, but I feel like when you have these little elements, you never know what you could put them in. A little shadow box, some other craft type of thing. You just never know. The money in this, and it had a pencil in here, chewed up. The money in this is pretty interesting too. Well, again, what I use this stuff like this for is collage. It has color on it. It has that graphic element. You know, this can be made into something else. Like, I love the fact that we have a pile of uniform papers, and that itself can be used to create another mini journal, or to create a series of like mini art projects or something like that. You can look at all this stuff with a different eye. You know, instead of looking at it as garbage that you can't, a game you don't want to play with anymore, look at it as a way to create something new. I love game sheets in general. I think this stuff makes great for collage items. So I love that kind of stuff. And, you know, so we've got a packet of that. The little cardboard boxes in general can come in handy. You know, just the cardboard itself, this little piece of cardboard. And then there's these dividers. And, you know, when you're talking about storing crafts, I mean, that can be one thing you can use it for. I love anything with this type of old, you know, 60s look, 50s and 60s advertising look to it. The colors are really vibrant and fun. I like that it, you know, has these kids playing, the word fun, has different information on the games and stuff. This to me makes really fun collage for your art journal, for, you know, your art piece, whatever you're creating, depending on what you're going for. So there's that. And I love that the fact that the rules have all these little graphics on them. So that's super fun, and gives you 2 of them. So how fun is that? So I loved getting this this type of stuff. And all of this really to me is like, it's a possibility to create with. Now, the other thing is, at this rummage sale, again, we had a free box and then we had cheap stuff. So here's 25 cents for a whole bunch of brand new in the package gold doilies. These are paper. This is wonderful for collaging, for art journal, I use doilies quite a bit in my art to create this texture. You'd place it down, you can leave the gold on there, you could put paint over it. So I got a couple of these, couple of doilies for 25 cents. And then they also had a bingo game, which I did pay $1 for. And that, again, I like the pieces in the bingo game. I like these little wooden game pieces, the little markers. I think they're really great. I like the printing on the rules. And I love the bingo cards. I use these all the time in my art journals, and they're also great, again, for creating mini books. You know, you think about this is the base for a book, art journal that you create, a junk journal. You can cover it, you can leave it as it is, you can put material on the side, use the back as a canvas, and it becomes a way to inexpensively create another journal. So clearing out all that stuff, I also got a bunch of stuff at the thrift store. And the thrift store I went to was called Hello Happiness. It's in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And it has just a lot of, see, there's our little logo. It has a lot of different things packaged nicely that you can use in your arts and crafts. You know, stuff like different types of lace. And look how pretty all that lace is. There's some heart lace, some different ribbons. There's this fun craft lace. So I picked up some of that, picked up some beads. This whole packet was 25 cents. And these beads, you know, I use them for stitching, for craft projects. I love envelopes like this. just to, you know, place little tiny bits in, place your threads and beads and things like that in. These little envelopes are also great in your art journals. You can put little notes in there and keep, they're great for keeping different things. And they're also great to put in a little package, you know, a little gift if you want to put a special note in there, and you can decorate them. And I got this little packet for $1. This has a bunch of tags in it. Picked up that, 50 cents. Here's some more bingo cards. Oh, and I got a little ring. Check this out. You guys, I mean, it's a fun little plastic ring. How fun is that? How fun is it? And I got more of these little bingo markers. And these are just really, you know, it has the older element, and I like that it has the numbers on it and words on it. So that kind of stuff is great. Some scrap glass. I am so into like soldering and doing different things with glass right now. And this whole packet was $1.25, and it's all different scraps that you can cut and use. And that scrap will go really far in the things that I do, which are they tend to be very small. I also got a bunch of pipe cleaners. I currently have a workshop that I'll be teaching December 15th, and I'm creating some dragonflies, and I'm using pipe cleaners. So got a bunch of these, 5 cents a piece, and I'm attaching the pipe cleaners to a garland. So I got some floral craft wire, again 5 cents a piece. And I also got some scraps of fabric like this. They were selling it kind of by the pound. So you put a bunch of it, you know, on the counter, and they weigh it, and it's like $1 a pound or something like that. And it was these little scraps make perfect little patches. And, you know, I do a lot of stitching where I just have a little piece of fabric, and I'm just sitting there at night stitching and adding beads and keeping myself busy. And then I put them together to create something usually. And, you know, I put them on my jean jacket, I put them on art journals and create art journal covers and things like that. And this works perfectly. You have this little grommeted area, which can be cut and used as something, or you can cut it off and use it for stitching. So I got a couple of those, which I thought were great. Some fun fabrics, great materials. Now, one thing I do when I buy material at a thrift store is I always go through and wash it. I don't iron it really. I mean, I kind of just take it out and lay it flat and put it in a pile until I'm ready to use it. But I do wash everything to make sure it's clean. But I love some of these patterns, the texture on there. I mean, I think they're just great for stitching. So if you're an embroiderer, stitcher type of person, look for that when you go to a thrift store. And I'm always interested in these little bits and bobs. This was $1, and it's all these little crocheted doilies, mini doily type things in this nice little bag, which I can't open. How about this? There we go. So it's all these little bits. So fun. And this again works great on stitching. I've been known to use doilies on my art projects, and I love them. So of all sizes, I just think they're fun. So I got that. I also like getting vintage, like handwriting postcards. And they were selling little items like this. And, you know, this is great, this old letter, just to do collage, to put on the back of your painting, you know, as one of the base layers. I think this kind of stuff adds a really personal touch. And also for me, like someone's handwriting is so personal and lovely. So that's some of that. Old postcards. So I love the postmark on there. I love the writing. And I picked up some of that. Little happy Christmas postcard. How fun. So then I also picked up, I thought these were so great, and they're little board books, okay, but they're like The covers are worn down. I think these are great for creating in. And what I usually do is I take some gesso and I prepare, because usually they're real slippery, you know, the surface of them. So I prepare them for paint with gesso, or you could also do collage on things like that. That's where something like that can come in handy. You can collage over that and then it becomes a base. And I love these little books just as, like, what I like to do is create and decorate them and then put little notes in them and give them to people. So I think this stuff works out great for that. So if you ever see anything like that, you know, this chipboard kind of books, keep an eye out for them, because I think they can work really lovely. Look like somebody already tried to do that with this one. It started out with Sesame Street, and then they put collage in there. Well, you know what? I'm going to build on that. So, so you get someone else's beginning craft project. I'm okay with that. So there's all these different ones. They're all just kind of the perfect size for gift giving and stocking stuffing. So that's some of my stash right now. I hope that you will check out Hello Happiness or any of the thrift stores in your area. And, you know, really, they're a great place to give your imagination some room to grow in. While I think art kits and all that kind of stuff you can buy in stores is great, I think it's really helpful to go and find things like this that then you can sit there and think, what can I do with this? And it allows your art to, you know, be open to a new door of possibilities. Rather than having a pre-made kit that somebody else has thought of, you know, you can create something that you think of just with different items, and it makes your art unique, and it helps you maybe create a new art style or a new perspective on how you begin paintings or art journals or even craft projects. If you found something great that you want to share, tag me on social media, and happy creating.